Good afternoon, basketball fans. This is Mike Pettaway coming to you live from Salem College in beautiful downtown Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Alongside today is Mr. Mark, sports writer, I guess.
Infamous.
Bringing a lot of clout to the broadcast today. We just feel so honored to have Mr. Pruitt sitting over here beside me.
Well, thanks for having me again, Mike. It's my pleasure. And, even if I hit the Powerball the other night, I was still going to show up today.
When we get off the air, so. But I said beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We are having a little bit of signal issue with the signal getting out of this building. We always talk about it when Donnie Baldridge is my producer, that the signal goes in and out till it gets warmed up. But it really isn't all that beautiful in Winston-Salem right now, Mr. Pruitt.
It's giving us a good glimpse of what life is like in Antarctica.
I tell you, the temperature is taking another. The race on TV, and you could just hear that wind howling. And we actually have a construction site right beside. They're building a home right beside us, and the porta potty is laying on the side this morning, so
lovely.
That's going to be great. But they're calling for some snow, maybe tomorrow, late afternoon, evening into Tuesday, and we are scheduled to open the home softball season here at Salem College with Coach Long and his Spirits. But we'll have to wait and see how that weather system develops and which way it goes and how much of a winter event it becomes for us, because it's difficult to broadcast in sub-zero weather and the wind blowing about 15, 20 miles an hour. So stay tuned to triadsportscoverage.com, and if the games are canceled, we will let you know. They're playing Maine Presque Isle, which is the most, I guess, northern point in the United States on the East Coast. And
I'm sure they're seeing some weather up that way, too.
And if they happen to be driving down here, they're driving through a storm.
Yes.
So I don't know what the status is. Melissa Barrett, who's the athletic director here at Salem College, will let me know something later on today. But for right now, we're going to do a Division III college basketball game between the Winston-Salem, or the Salem Spirits, and the Washington Adventist Shock. And it is also senior night for the Spirits, and there will be a ceremony recognizing the seniors. And to be quite honest with you, Mark, I'm not sure if it's going to be a pregame ceremony or halftime. It looks like it may be a halftime, because they have got the officials ready to go here with 2 minutes on the pregame clock. So the Shock they're from Tacoma Park, Maryland, and I was talking to one of their assistant coaches, Mike Rayfield, here a few moments ago over on their bench, and we were talking about Mother Nature and what a wrench she throws into things. And he said when they came through D.C., it was already snowing, but of course, living up in that part of the country, they're used to, I'm sure, some of these storms. But they were kind of surprised too how cold it was down here when they got off the bus in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. But the Shock come in with they're kind of on a downward trend. They got a 5-game losing streak, and Coach Rayfield was saying that with 3 first-year coaches on the staff, it's been a struggle to just like it is here at Salem College with Coach Money. You bring in a new coach, and no matter what kind of players you got, they have to get used to your style, as you know, and they have to get used to your voice and the way you scream or don't scream or whatever. So it looks like it's going to be a contest between 2 teams that are, you might want to say, they're in rebuilding mode. I mean, they both have struggled this year, and they have had some games that were really impressive, and then other games where they really have a problem. And I think you may remember when you've done a Salem game, but it seems like the Spirits have a tendency to get off on a slow start.
Yep.
Seems like they take a few moments before they can score that first basket, and sometimes it's 3-4 minutes, and you wonder, are they ever going to put the ball in the hoop? But I will say the last game we did here, I did a game with Donnie Baldridge, and Sabrina Shepard came back. And Sabrina is she's a great offensive weapon on the floor. She can pull up and hit a three-pointer. She's done a great job. She was out for a few weeks. She was, I guess, under the weather, and they really missed her. Of course,
she hit a couple of big three-pointers. I know in the game I did. It helped really get Salem back into it back in December when I was here.
Yeah, so. And the last game Donnie and I did, she came off the bench and right away the first thing she did is bury a three-pointer. She hit another one, and that's what ignited the offense.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the public address announcer in the background, but he is that's a very familiar voice. Let me see if I can figure out who that is. You know, I think it's Mr. Alex Hodges, a Glenn High School graduate, and he's the voice at the stadium for the Winston-Salem Dash. And he is excited, I'm sure, to be here, and that is his, looks like his little brother sitting over there. But we will be getting this game underway momentarily. We're going to take a break while they go to the national anthem.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
Is your business going to die alone? Never meet the customers of its dreams? Just sit on the couch crying into a carton of ice cream while other businesses are out there thriving? New Expression can help. Without the right marketing, you're a wallflower. Without a great website, you're not going to turn heads. And without social media, you don't even have a friend to tell people what a great personality you have. New Expression can give your business a total brand makeover and get you out there, attracting customers. It used to be about who had the biggest ad in the phone book. Today, customers hit the web to locate and research before they call. If Google isn't steering customers to your site or they're not impressed by what they see, you're missing out. New Expression does web design and can provide a free analysis to see how your site stacks up against the competition. Don't have time to constantly update social media? Want cool custom apps and graphics? New Expression can help there too. From print design to mobile marketing to online presence to brand identity, New Expression can help you express yourself. Find out more at nuexpression.com.
We're coming to you live from Salem College in Winston-Salem. Mike Pettaway with Mr. Mark Pruitt. Remind me to get your autograph. I've got a poster I want you to sign.
Okay. Be happy to do that. I don't know that it would help the value of that.
Well, now that I know you won the lottery, I'm going to smooth up to you because I think you probably did. Does that mean we won't be seeing the high school extra in the paper?
No, sir.
But we are getting ready for the starting lineup. Mr. Hodges, you may be able to hear that. He has a deep voice, doesn't he, Mark?
He does. Very nice baritone type quality to the voice.
Sounds like someone at a professional stadium. They are giving some pregame information.
I think they're honoring the seniors too. It looks like
they are going to have the senior pro. Number 24 is Zai Henderson. You remember her little spark plug at the point guard.
Yes, I do, yes.
They're reading off some of the stats that the senior players have been able to accomplish in their career here at Salem College. Zakiya Henderson, who as Mark and I were just mentioning, she's really, when she comes in the game, she really provides a spark to the.
Gets that offense going and can a really scrappy defensive player, if I remember correctly, too.
The next senior they've introduced is number 21, Crystal Lolis. And the thing that I'm going to remember about Crystal, and she's a guard, but I'm amazed how many rebounds this young lady gets. She has court awareness. She knows where to be when a shot goes up, and she'll pull down more than her fair share of rebounds.
So rebounding is a state of mind, and we used to always coach our kids that way, and we did have several years. One of our guards was our leading rebounder every year because he knew exactly where to get when the shot went up to get the rebound.
Now, when you coached, did you emphasize following your shots?
Yes.
Was that part of basketball back then?
Yes.
Because it's a lost art now.
A lot of fundamentals are a lost art now, it seems. A lot of games that I've seen this year at all kinds of levels, not just this level of college or high school, but even at the Wake Forest Virginia Tech game a couple of weeks ago I was at.
So they've introduced Crystal Lawless and Zakia Henderson.
Last but not least, we would like to honor number 55, Michelle Morgan.
Michelle Morgan, senior, is being introduced as her teammates escort her to the floor.
Is a senior forward and criminal studies major from Ringgold, Georgia.
She's comes up from Georgia to play here at Salem College.
Was a 2-year member of the
You've gone through a few senior nights as a coach, I'm sure, and I know I've dealt. I've talked to Coach Aldine Payne many times about senior nights, and it's a bittersweet moment because coaches become really attached to some of these kids.
Very.
And depending on the home life of that particular kid, you're almost like a father.
Definitely.
But when you see one that's going to go off and maybe not play sports, maybe accepted in medical school or something, it's got to make you feel, coaches have a lot more to do with the kid's success than some people really realize.
It's always, like you said, it's bittersweet because it's emotional, and I mean, it's hard not to get caught up in that emotion when it's going on. I remember I shed several tears in my years when I was at Bishop McGuinness, and still stay in touch with a lot of those girls. A couple of them even invited me to their graduation parties at their houses after that year. So, yes, you do get very attached because you spend a lot of time together during practice and games and in the locker room and in the van rides to wherever you're going.
Yeah. And if you bring a kid in as a freshman and you spend 4 years mentoring that kid, that's really tough when you have to say goodbye to that individual. They're getting ready to introduce the starting lineups after a senior ceremony before the ball game. Jaria Brown McDaniel will be starting for the Shock. Courtney Jenkins, and looking at some of the stats, I think those two names are going to be pretty active in this ball game.
Okay.
Sierra Sims will be a guard for the Shock. She's out of Largo, Maryland. Delisi Martin, a senior guard out of Jersey City, New Jersey.
It's like they got 8 people on the roster and only 7 in uniform today. So.
And number 33 is Natalie Harrison. And if my research is halfway accurate, I believe Natalie is going to be the go-to on offense. And now we're going to have the introduction of the Salem Spirit starting 5. And I believe we're going to start the seniors, if I'm not mistaken. I see them all sitting on the bench with their warm-up shirt off. So we'll see what Coach Boney does. Hannah McBride.
Looks like the 3 seniors will be introduced last. It was a nice little touch.
Get a little ovation for the seniors. Crystal Lolis will be starting at guard.
Carolina, number 24, Zy Henderson.
And Michelle Morgan will be the final player introduced.
Georgia, number 33, Michelle Morgan.
My other sidekick, Mr. Donnie Baldridge, who may or may not be listening, but the last game he gave a nickname to Hannah McBride and Zy Henderson, Thunder and Lightning. So, he called. So the officials are ready. We have 3 officials on the floor. And that young lady that's refereeing is one of the best referees. She's done a couple of high school games that I've covered recently. And matter of fact, one of them was up at Reedsville.
Oh.
And she definitely knows how to take charge of a situation. That doesn't make a big scene out of it, but she demands respect and she gets it. And that's how you referee a basketball game. You don't want to be the center of attention or have someone like Coach Pruitt in your face.
I was never in the face.
Yeah.
Never.
So here goes the opening tip-off. The Spirits are going to be moving from our right to our left. Tip is controlled by Lolis. Crystal Lolis takes it down the floor. Over to the right side now at top of the key, dribbling, trying to get her offense set up. Passing over to Zy Henderson off to the left. Swinging it around the perimeter over to the corner to McBride. Lolis with a 3-point attempt, and it's nothing but net.
Good start.
I guess her foot was on the line. They gave her 2, but that was a great.
It was a good job being patient there against that 2-3 zone by Salem.
So Harrison with the ball for the Shock.
Salem's playing in a man-to-man coming out.
That was a great reach-in by Michelle Morgan. I guess who scored that 3-pointer?
That was a 3-pointer, Natalie Harrison, who you, I believe, mentioned a few moments ago.
So Natalie with a 3-pointer to put the Shock ahead 3-2. Looks like Adventist, as you said, are in the zone, or they're in the zone defense. There's a feed down low to Q Lewis behind a kind of a hook shot.
Great high post action, got the ball in the high post.
You know, for not getting a lot of playing time, Michelle Morgan has kind of fit right into the starting lineup today, and she knocked away one pass, and now she's had a great pass into Lewis for an easy 2-pointer.
Did a great job getting open in the gap there at the high post, and it was a great feed down the queue in the post.
Great hands by Lola. She stole that inbound, that pass. Almost a travel by Henderson. She throws it over to Lolis down in the corner to Q Lewis. Lewis with a shot. And she buries a 3.
3-pointer from the left corner. Good start from Salem.
A great start, 7-3 right off the bat here with 18 minutes, 20 seconds and counting. Harris way out on top of the key being dogged by Zy Henderson. There's a screen set, and there's a travel. It looks like they may call the foul first. They raised their fist. Going to be an inbound under the Shock basket. Foul was called on Michelle Morgan, her first personal. Harrison inbounding the pass, looking low. There's a pass under the bucket, and she is going to be fouled by Michelle Morgan.
Picked up 2 quick ones right there.
It was Courtney Jenkins standing under the bucket for the inbounds pass. Received the pass and went up immediately with Michelle Morgan kind of latched onto her arm, and they're not going to allow the substitution until this first free throw by Courtney Jenkins, who's also a scoring, very active in scoring for the Shock. Nice form on that free throw, nice rotation on the ball. Makes Coach happy to see someone shoot like that.
I love those kind of free throws.
Fundamentally sound. And
Sabrina Shepard's in for Michelle Morgan.
Second free throw is a little bit strong off the iron. Rebound, Q Lewis hands it off to Lolis, who brings it down for Salem. Again, they set up with Lolis at the top of the key, dribbling toward the lane. Zy Henderson. Ball is loose. It actually was intended for Sabrina Shepard and knocked away.
They tried to force that one into the high post that time, it looked like. 2 people converged right on Sabrina when she tried to catch the ball.
There's a nice steal by Hannah McBride. She got into the passing lane all the way down the floor for an easy layup.
It's good active defense by Hannah there. Just stepped into the passing lane.
And
Took it right away.
Hannah will do that a lot. She's been very active and very aggressive on that, knocking passes loose. We have a call out.
Turnover, carry the ball there.
They're going to say that Harrison turned the ball over with Henderson playing some great tight man-to-man defense. I think Coach Money has probably done a little bit of scouting too and knows that we need to have somebody on Harrison at all times. Oh my goodness, Lolis with a three-pointer.
Good. Another good job there by Salem, being patient, and they got the ball to the high post, and that's where.
We have a whistle and so there's a whistle.
It's a 2-point. I think they're saying it was a 2-point
So
basket,
they make
not a
a
3-point.
2-pointer. 11-4 is the score now with 16:57 to go in the first half.
Again, Salem's really trying to get the ball to the high post today. That's twice now something good has happened once the high post has touched the ball.
Jenkins from the top of the key. Looks like it's a 2-pointer. Courtney Jenkins with a nice jump shot. Bring the score 11-6 with 16:35 to go in the first half. Q Lewis draws the foul. She drove the baseline and really had no chance of making that shot. She just threw it up to draw the foul.
They got bailed out there. Sometimes that happens. You're being aggressive. Coaches love to see that too.
So that foul was on, I believe, Jenkins, number 1. That's her first foul on Q Lewis, who is actually from Hartford, Connecticut. They say Charlotte, North Carolina. But I think she attended UNC Charlotte and transferred.
Okay.
But I was informed at one of our games she's actually, and the reason I remember that is because I went to high school near Hartford, Connecticut, so it kind of brings back memories of the cold weather we're having today in Winston-Salem. 1 of 2 for Q Lewis, and she makes the score 12-6 in favor of the Spirits. Again, Harrison with the ball at midcourt being guarded by Henderson. Number 0 is Jaria McDaniel. She misses a short pull-up jumper. Ball is down the corner with Henderson over to Sabrina Shepard. Henderson drives amongst the trees, throws it up. And she was quickly fouled in the lane.
It's quick on the draw there. It's really got to the gap in that zone.
That's kind of been her style this year. She gets a little bit of opening in the lane. She'll go right among the trees there and
Not
usually
afraid.
gets fouled. Yeah,
Definitely
she
not.
has no fear. It was a shooting foul, so Zai will get 2 free throws. First one is up and no good off the iron. Second one is no good. Again, shot was off the back of the iron, rolled around and rebounded to the Shock. McDaniel almost loses the ball. A little confusion. Backcourt going to be called on Harrison. That was an errant pass, and then there was total confusion trying to save that ball. And Harrison did touch the ball in backcourt. Turnover to the Spirits.
Just going to show what a little defensive pressure can do in the half court.
Henderson with a fake pump drive or passes off to Lewis. Lolis way out deep over to Henderson in the left wing. Henderson looks down the corner to Q Lewis. Lewis looking down low, drives through the lane and loses control of the ball. Picked up by Harrison. Harrison and the Shock are on the move. But again, Henderson is right on Harrison at midcourt.
Really getting after it.
There's a bad pass. It's going to go out of bounds. Good try
Good
by
defense again.
That was number 31 for Delana Williams.
I'll start with Zakia there. Really putting good ball pressure, and then Q just kind of stepped in the passing lane and swatted that one away.
Yeah, the defense for Salem has been really aggressive and really confusing the Shock in their passing lane. There's a feed down low to Q and a short shot by Sabrina Shepard.
And she's going to the line for a free throw. Good high-low, and that one got in the queue in the low post, and she turned and found Stripper there at the high post.
When they collapsed on her, she just turned around and fed to Sabrina. And when Sabrina starts making her shots, she can be a weapon on the floor. So we'll see if she can make three the old-fashioned way. Taking her time at the free throw line. Up and in for a three-point conversion, 15-6. The
timeout.
Shot call a quick timeout with 15:03 to go in the first half. Salem Spirits are on top, 15-6. We're going to take a short break.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community. Financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
15-6 score here at Salem College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Spirits have come out playing some great aggressive defense. Zy Henderson has been more or less stuck on the leading scorer, Natalie Harrison from the shot from Washington Adventist. And I think it's by having that pressure defense right at midcourt, it kind of disrupts whatever plan they had on offense. They can't get the ball in. They can't execute very many good passes. Again, Henderson right on top of Harrison. And number 0, Zaria McDaniel. There's a rebound by Delana Williams, and she put it back up for 2 points. Had good position, got that rebound. And
looked like Salem kind of dropped into a 1-3-1 half-court set right there. And they just didn't get a lot of pressure on the ball that time.
With a feed down low to McBride, she gets a rebound on her miss, but is taken back with the ball off the foot of Harrison on the fast break, and it does bounce up into the hands of Lolis, and she stops, goes out of control, becomes airborne at the top of the circle, and it's going to be called for a barreling over foul because she was intent on clearing that lane out one way or the other.
There wasn't too much doubt on that one. A lot of times you just charge block calls are 50-50. Not so much, no.
But she kind of left her feet and dove into the defender, so that was pretty obvious. Even for a blind man like me could see that. Pass over here to Jenkins, Courtney Jenkins. She feeds number 0, Jaria Brown. 15-10, 5-point ball game. 13:50 to go in the first half. Lolis with a errant pass on the to the baseline, intended for, I believe, Q Lewis, but it was way over her head, went out of bounds.
Washington's got a little more energy now going in their defensive set.
Yeah,
intent to stay in that zone. Probably try to keep Q out of the game.
Nice spin move off the board, no good, but that was Zaria McDaniel trying to get by Crystal Lolis. Lolis was able to knock it out of bounds. Our illustrious photographer, Mr. Charles Hilton, just showed up. You might have heard the drum roll and saw the red carpet. That's for Mr. Hilton. We're going to have an offensive foul called on that drive by number, is that on 33?
On 33.
That would be on Harrison. So her first team foul, or first foul, 5th on the team. Lolis down the corner to Q Lewis. She drives the baseline, kicks it out to Hannah McBride. She drains it from just inside the three-pointer. Gets a 2-point shot, 17-10. Spirits looking really aggressive and really sharp here this afternoon. Harrison with the ball for Washington. Over to Brown. Brown pulls up a short jumper, no good. Rebound and fought for. A lot of contact. Is kicked out to Lolis. She moves it over to the corner to an open Zy Henderson. She sends it to Sabrina Shepard. That may be a bad omen for
it's 20-10. Salem with the lead. 12:34 left in the first half. Nice start offensively by the Spirits. That's a three-pointer from Natalie Harrison for Washington. Q Lewis misses a jump shot on the other end and out of bounds to Washington's 20-13. 12-11 left, first half. Washington ball.
I left my sidekick high and dry here, but you just took right over and kept right on going. And I saw the ratings button go up as you were talking.
Pro move right there. Pro move.
Oh, my. So the Spirits are now up 20-13 with 12 minutes to go in the first half, with Washington bringing the ball down, trying to set up something on offense with Harrison.
She's been a force, as you predicted.
Yes, he drove the baseline and kicked it out to an open Jaria Brown.
20-15, Salem leads now. A couple back-to-back three-pointers by Washington.
Q Lewis with a good move, turnaround jumper.
Strong.
She got the shooter's roll on that. Or as Tim Brando says, the iron was kind on that.
And Q's got some great footwork, really does. I was real impressed with her the first time I saw them play, with her post footwork especially.
Aggressive defense by Crystal Lolis again. She knocks the ball out of bounds, intended for Jaria Brown, and she was right in the passing lane and trying to steal that ball. Now they're going to have trouble getting the ball in bounds. I'm a little bit concerned that's in for the Spirits is Shaniqua Collins, number 5, but they're reaching a lot, Mark, and they got to be careful if the referee starts calling those reaching fouls, even though they aren't fouls.
So far they haven't.
That was a travel with Jaria Brown kind of pivoting or turning on her pivot foot, and was called for a travel and another turnover. 22-15, 11 minutes to go in the first half. Crystal Lolis into Lewis. Lewis dribbles once, top the key. Jumper is
good. Got the rope.
But iron really loves her. 24-15.
Q showing some range on that one.
That was really, yeah. We're used to seeing her down in the paint trying to draw some fouls.
Like every good post player,
they
think they can shoot those 18 and 20 footers.
That should be a 5-second tie-up. Harrison does get the
block.
McDaniel was in no man's land near half court, and Harrison broke to the basket, and she saw her and made a great pass, but
aggressiveness is paying off for Salem defensively, and the referees aren't going to call those little reach and ticky-tack fouls. Then,
at least not now, they're not. Let's hope they don't change in the second half. But that was another great defensive play by Hannah McBride, knocking that ball out of bounds under the Washington bucket. There's a foul on McBride on that one. That was number 21 or 31. So Delaney Williams will go to the free throw line after the foul on Hannah McBride. That's her first personal in the game, 10:33 to go.
Kind of see that inbounds play developing. Salem was in a man-to-man, which is rare. You don't see that a lot. Most coaches prefer to play zone in a under-the-basket situation like that. And generally, the last person you have coming off the screen is going to be wide open for that layup, and that's what happened there.
Second free throw is the first one hit the front of the iron, so she overcompensated and threw it against the back of the iron. So she goes 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Ball goes out of bounds on the rebound off the Washington Adventist player, inbounded by McBride to Lolis. Lolis will bring the ball up the floor. So it's Crystal Lolis and Shaniqua Collins back and forth in the corner. Back to Collins from the corner. Deep shot by Shaniqua Collins. No good. Rebound, Sabrina Shepard. And she tosses it back out for Lolis. McBride back to Lolis into Sabrina Shepard. No good. In and out.
Good again, though, to the high post. And that one just kind of rolled out the rim. But
also in for Salem is Alexiana Bush, number 22, sophomore. McDaniel dribbles and steps out beyond the three-point arc and misses a jump shot. She was being guarded by Alexiana Bush. Crystal Lolis down to McBride. McBride has second thoughts about driving the lane and pulls it back out. Corner shot for Sabrina Shepard. No good. Rebound is Lolis. She saves it from going out of bounds, and Shaniqua Collins picks up the loose ball back over to Lolis. Over on the left side, directing traffic. Quick inbound pass down low, intended for Alexiana Bush. Lolis picks up the loose ball, drives in for a running jumper. No good off the back of the iron. Down to Lolis, short jumper.
Three cracks at it there from Salem, and each time they missed, got the rebound. They backed the ball out, half court, got into their office and sat and were patient. And good things happen when you do. Moving the ball really well, 3-4 passes before a shot goes up. Gotta like seeing that as a coach.
So with 8:57 to go in the first half, your Salem Spirits are on top 26-15. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
Salem College on the top end of a 26-15 game here with 8:57 to go in the first half, and I'm Mike Pettaway with Mark Pruitt. And Mark, Salem has played a great game on both ends of the floor here in the first 12 minutes or 11 minutes of this first half, and Coach Maloney has substituted 3 or 4 players, keeping fresh legs in, and seems like whatever combination she puts in, they stick to the game plan. They do what she's asked them to do, and I think it's been a great start.
All the buttons she's pushed have worked so far, and that's all you can ask for as a coach. Great defensive pressure, and they're doing their man-to-man, and they're being patient on offense and looking for good shots. I think last time I was here in December, it really came. They were taking shots early in the shot clock and settling for three-pointers. They're being really patient against Washington's zone today. So
looks like Zy Henderson's back in the game for Hannah McBride, and Henderson obviously is going to be glued to Harrison on defense. Man-to-man defense is creating some issues for Washington. They're trying to get someone open. Harrison makes a move on Henderson, goes down the baseline, under the bucket, up and in. Nice move. He drove right around Henderson and slid between 2 defenders down low and put it off the glass.
She's good.
This is not her first rodeo, I don't think.
Doesn't look like it.
So now we have the Spirits with the ball, and it's Lolis out front over to Henderson. Long shot, no good by Alexiana Bush. Harrison brings it up slowly for the shot, the lady shot. Henderson immediately goes out and puts pressure on her. Follows Harrison down the lane on defense. Moving the ball around the top of the key. Little passing down in the corner now. Trying to get Harrison open, and it's a shot inside the arc by Courtney Jenkins. She was all by herself top of the key and just waited for the pass and took her time, and nice shot.
Yes, I believe that is the 5th three-pointer for Washington today.
Is that a three? Well, I guess it was a 3-point. 26-19. Lazy pass is stolen by Washington. And when you give up on the play, that's what happens.
Zakia quit on that one, too. After the first shot went up, she just stood there and didn't try for the rebound.
Jaria McDaniel had broken away for that fast break layup and actually missed it, but no one came in from Salem to contend the rebound. She just put it right back up for the 2 points, and immediately Coach Maloney calls timeout to
that's what you don't like to see as a coach. You got 3-on-1 back, and your other people are still standing at half court, and the ball gets, you miss the layup, and you don't have anybody under there to rebound the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure that probably did not please Coach Maloney very well. The last game we did, the Spirit got out quite like a double-digit lead, and there was a moment in the game, or a time in the game, where their concentration kind of dropped off, their intensity went downhill, and before you know it, it was a 7-point ball game. and Coach Mahoney called timeout, and she explained to us that she thinks her kids maybe looked at the scoreboard too much and thought, well, here we are 20 points ahead or 17 points ahead. And then you start not doing the little things that get you to that point to begin with. And I know this Washington Adventist team, they're not going to lay down and roll over. They came here to play. And it'd
be a shame to drive all this way and come out with a loss and have to go back up facing that snow in Washington, or up near Washington, D.C.
So they got, with Harrison and Jenkins and McDaniel, all three capable of lighting it up. If they get hot from the outside, it could certainly make this lead disappear.
Washington switched to a 1-2-2 zone, too, so they got a little pressure up top on the ball.
It's forcing the Spirits to hurry their offense a little bit, and they threw a couple of bad passes. That ball was knocked loose. Again, we're just playing giveaway back and forth.
Both ends sloppy at that.
McDaniel has passed it over to Harrison at the top of the key, who runs the offense over to Courtney Jenkins to Sierra Sims. Harrison pulls up for a short jumper and rolls off the iron. No good. Rebound, Crystal Lolis. Slowly takes it up the floor looking for, looks like it was Shaniqua Collins into Alexiana Bush, in and out of that would have been a great shot to bounce off the backboard.
This is one of those situations I think Salem's kind of lost their edge a little bit on offense. They need to make an effort to get the ball to Q somehow. She hadn't touched the ball the last several possessions. Good things tend to happen when she touches the ball.
She generates a lot of attention when she's in the game. Knocked out of bounds by Henderson. Now they're going to call a foul on Henderson. So
that's one of those fouls that they haven't been calling.
That's going to say, is this the point where the referees start saying, no, you can't play that tight of defense?
The worm has turned.
Yeah. So McDaniel at the top dribbles in, looks over to her left, feeds it off to Talisi Martin. Martin looking for someone to pass it to, and Harrison breaks loose, backs in, loses control of the ball.
Great defense again by Zakia there, just moving her feet and slapping at the ball right there.
And Q actually was a little bit out of control, dribbling it down towards the lane, and in the meantime, she got hacked out on top of the key. Number 33, Harrison, that will be her second personal foul. And they're actually going to take her out, maybe try to protect those two fouls here with 5:40 to go in the first half. You don't want to get your top scorer in deep foul trouble before the halftime.
This is a situation where Salem needs to take advantage of her not being on the floor. That's a kick. Reset that shot clock.
Shaniqua Collins tried to throw an entry pass into looked like Alexiana Bush, but as Mark said, it was kicked off the foot of a. Now we got action down in the corner. Looked like it was a kick again, I believe, but they didn't call it off a leg. They just called it out of bounds. 24 on the shot clock. Bush feeds it over to Lolis, who dribbles back out, stops in the corner to Shaniqua Collins. No good. Rebound. Number 21 is.
Zakia got the rebound and cleared it
to
Crystal Lolis.
Lolis from calling a pushing foul.
Shot was good. They're calling a pushing foul on Jeria McDaniel for Washington. So Salem gets another possession.
Harrison is right back in the ball game after a quick breather on the bench. She replaces Delisi Martin. Shaniqua Collins drives in the lane with a floater, no good, hits the ground.
It's 28-21 Salem leads, 5:20 to go in the first half.
Jeria McDaniel now dribbling the ball with Lolis guarding McDaniel. They're going to call a foul on number 21. Or no, they're going to call offensive foul.
It's on Lolis.
Oh, it is on Crystal Lolis, okay. Yeah, they're starting to call a little bit tighter now.
She was not in great position there. I did. She was behind her, and she kind of reached around her. So sometimes I guess it looks like they're going to start calling her.
So Natalie Harrison takes it out under her bucket, looking for someone to throw it to. Quick inbound pass is knocked away and stolen. Travel by Q Lewis. She was in an awkward position, and it was kind of like trying to hit a golf ball off the wrong foot. She was leaning one way and trying to go the other way, and she did travel.
She did a great job. She got her hand on the pass, the inbounds pass, and deflected it out, but came right back to her.
Harrison to McDaniel, jumper no good from the corner. Crystal Lolis moving it up the floor. She turns it back out to Sabrina Shepard off the front of the iron. And Sierra Sims pulls down the rebound. Bringing it down the floor is Natalie Harrison for Washington Adventist. Kick out to number 0, McDaniel, no good. Rebound, Crystal Lolis.
Good job boxing out by Q there. There's only one Washington Adventist player under there. 4 Salem around the ball there on that rebound.
Remember I said before the game how Crystal Lolis has a tendency to find rebounds?
Clairvoyant you are.
I mean, don't use those big words on my broadcast. You're going to think we're educated. Nice steal by Crystal Lolis. She very wisely... she may have could have drawn a third foul on Harrison, but she just turned around and
saw that pass coming. Brought
it back out, and now Henderson back to Lolis. Short jumper, rolls in and out, no good. Rebound goes to Delana Williams. McDaniel over to Williams, back to, there's a quick-handed move by Q Lewis, knocks it out of bounds, but I think the Adventist Shock have to be careful with their passing because the Salem Spirit, for once, they're moving with their feet today instead of reaching a lot, and they're knocking a lot of balls loose.
Like they're anticipating a lot of those passes today, getting in the passing lanes. The last 2, Q there, kind of came out from the low block there to come out on the wing to get her hand in the passing lane on that one.
You know, that's something they have suffered with on the other side, where they've had lazy passes in ball games and telegraph passes, and they create a lot of unforced turnovers. And today they've kind of reversed the tide here. They're doing what has been done to them for quite a few games. And you know, as we mentioned before about a first-year coach, a first-year, new philosophy, new scheme, new game plan. And right now, when the season's almost over, but I think from what it looks like today, they've certainly improved. They're certainly starting to come together as a team and do what Coach Money is wanting to get across to them. And they've got 2 key road games coming up next week when they play Agnes Scott and Georgia Wesleyan for the conference title, which will get them a berth into the NCAA Division III Women's National Tournament. So they're not. It doesn't appear to looking ahead. They know this is important, but it's always good to go into a critical game with a win, and it'll be their 3rd win in a row, which is that momentum is going to be very valuable.
In the conference games, Salem, looking at their numbers before I came in today, their defense has really picked up for conference games. They lead the conference, first in points allowed.
There's another almost steal by Zy Henderson. She's going to create a turnover or a jump ball.
Possession area to Washington Adventist, but still, Zakia Henderson just
she is so quick. I mean, Harrison's
really
dribbling the
causing
ball.
Some turmoil today.
Yeah, I mean that's really it's really been the key to the ball game is keeping all the confusion at midcourt. They haven't had a chance to do much damage under the bucket.
There she is now, ready to hound Washington and Lee right when they come across half court.
Oh, there's a dragon foot. There's a long shot. No good. Looked as if Henderson was actually guarding McDaniel on that possession. And then McDaniel kicked it out to Harrison from 3-point NBA range, and she missed it as the 30-second clock expired. Call
like a kick again.
I think it was off the Washington player.
Kick. It was off Washington. Salem ball underneath the basket.
Yeah, they have 20 seconds on the shot clock. Looking for an inbound is Lolis over to Sabrina Shepard. Back to Lolis from deep in the corner, and Lolis
2-pointer, not a three.
2-point shot. 30-21. 3 minutes to play in the first half. Henderson is back on.
Crystal Lois is looking for the Player of the Game award for
I
that.
think so. She actually, she was the recipient of one of their Player of the Games for her rebounding, and that they gave that stat the key of the game was the way she rebounded, and it's amazing how she is there for the ball when it comes off the board.
She's everywhere today. It's her and Zakia really have been a presence both ends of the floor today.
Henderson over to Lolis, back to Henderson in the corner.
Not a good pass
That
there.
was going
Got
to
away with
Sabrina
it.
Shepard, and it was stolen, but Alexiana Bush trying for the rebound. Maybe going to call over the back on number 22, or Alexiana Bush. The foul's going to be called on her, I believe. Yep, 22.
It looked like they were going to call it on Washington Adventist at first, but I believe the other referee came and interjected there.
Yeah. That
Puts
was
them in a 1-and-1, too.
That was a 50-50 call. I think it's whichever was referee had the loudest whistle got that call. Coming to the line is Jaria Brown McDaniel. As Mark said, it's a 1-and-1. That's the 7th team foul on Salem.
It's
2:32, excuse me.
I'm sorry, as aggressive as they've been defensively, to get to 17 fouls with 2:32 left in the first half, that's not like that.
She hits the front end of the 1-and-1. It's an 8-point ball game. Second shot by McDaniel. It's around the rim, no good. Rebound, Alexiana Bush over to Crystal Lolis going up the right side, looking down. Wait for someone to break across, and there's the inside pass into Q Lewis. A kick out to Sabrina Shepard.
Good things happen when Q touches the ball, Mike. Again, got it to her there in the high post, and she took one dribble and saw Sabrina Shepard there on the baseline.
Pretty fundamental basketball, isn't it?
It's an easy game.
They have put Q Lewis on Harrison now, and Q will get an Emmy for that fall over like she was pushed. It was a missed shot, rebounded by Salem, and Lolis to the corner for Henderson. She kicks away out to Alexiana Bush. A long shot, long, no good. Rebound.
Hey.
Lolis under the bucket.
Should have shot
She maybe made one too many passes.
Gone straight up with that, and I believe she had a bucket there.
She had a bucket, or they would have fouled her.
Being too unselfish. Well, that's another rebound for her.
Yep. So Henderson now guarding McDaniel. McDaniel drives to the paint. They're going to call a push off, I think, on that play.
Yep. 10-point lead for Salem. 1:33 left in the first half. See if they can build on that before halftime.
Henderson bringing it down the floor, looking to her left for Sabrina Shepard. Shepard kicks it back out to Henderson, into Q Lewis, to Bush, back to Lolis, to Bush again. That was a kick out.
3 seconds.
They're going to call 3 seconds. That may have been a case where Q may have wanted taken that shot. She was right under the bucket and kicked it out, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. They called 3 seconds, I believe, on number 22.
There's a lot of people in the same place there that time for Salem.
It was 9 seconds, not 3 seconds.
The spacing wasn't where it needed to be.
Harrison drives on Q Lewis, backs it back out, and pumps a three-pointer. Did I tell you she might be scoring points today? Wow. Buries that three-pointer. Now it's only a 7-point ball game, 44 seconds ago in the first half. Henderson to Sabrina Shepard to Q Lewis. Long cross-court pass to Lolis. She drives right down the lane, hard to the lane, banks it off the board.
No one stepped in to stop her there. She had a free rein down to about 8 feet there in the lane.
Lolis may be the player of the game on a couple of reasons. She's just really impressive today in this ball game. Another great defensive stop by Henderson. Short off the iron, no good. That shot was no good. They're going to call a foul underneath. That was Courtney Jenkins with his jumper that was no good. calling that foul on number 12. So DeLisi Martin commits a foul down low on the rebound, and that is the 8th team foul.
Salem didn't know what I wanted.
So Salem Spirit will send.
We got bailed out there, I think. The
Yeah.
shot clock was off, and they were trying to rush into a shot before halftime, and there's 7 seconds left on the clock.
They didn't have enough, weren't aware of what was going on, I guess. Lolis will go to the line for 1-and-1. First one's up and no good. Great rebound by Sierra Sims.
Ooh, dribbled it right off her foot.
She was looking up for someone to break for a pass under her bucket, and with Lolis playing good defense.
3 seconds left. Let's see if Salem get off a good shot here. Good look.
Henderson and Lewis.
Just off the rim. Banked it in and just fell off the front of the rim there.
It would have counted, but did not go in. So that's going to bring us to the close of the first half here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Salem Spirits are on top 34-25. It's been a
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, in celebration of our seniors, we invite you to join us.
it's been I think one of the best games I've seen Salem play on both ends of the floor. And
It's been a complete game for sure.
Their defense has really created problems for the Washington Lady Shock. It's
something that Salem has excelled in. Looking at their stats in conference play, where they've won both of their conference games, they're holding opponents to 49.5 points a game, which is first in the league. Holding them to 32.2% from the floor, which is also first. So that's something you can hang your hat on, especially when you're trying to win conference games and win the conference to get a bid to the NCAA Division III tournament.
You're exactly right, Mr. Pruitt. And you know that professional voice we were hearing on the intercom on the public address announcing. Well, that voice has mysteriously shown up in our booth over here.
Sir. Yes, sir. I am here.
That would be Mr. Alec Hodges. Welcome to our broadcast vantage point on the campus of Salem College, where you've done a game.
I have. I was with Donnie Baldridge.
And today's game, Mark and I were commenting on just how
good the commentary was and the PA announcing.
We just were handed the stats.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Top.
You know, when we came on the air and I gave the pregame spiel, then when Mark's voice all of a sudden appeared or became obvious, I saw the ratings start going up. And then when you showed up, it says over the top, whatever that means.
Over the top, that's right.
I don't know what that is, but I think we may have two of the best announcers in the city right here. On both each side of me. Mark says, where are they? I haven't seen them.
It's like, you got another booth somewhere?
This is when all the ladies start to call in with Alec now here, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I wish.
Oh, yeah, he wishes. So, are you enjoying your first public address gig with Salem College?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It was kind of a mouthful at the beginning with Senior Day, and I'm kind of throwing all these announcements with maybe 4 or 5 minutes left before we actually get started. So it was very interesting, but it was fun.
Well, I listened to you, and you're getting all the names right. And that's
thank goodness.
That's sometimes that can be a challenge.
It is. It can be very challenging sometimes.
Well, now doing the PA announcing, how much of the game do you watch the game and really pay attention to it?
You kind of have to. Like, I'm over there. I have my stat, not a stat sheet, but I have my two rosters. At the bottom, I have team fouls, and then right next in the column next to their names, I'm keeping track with how many fouls they have and how many points they have. So you kind of have to be attentive and just know what's going on and when to make an announcement.
Now, are you going to become a hometowner and start cheering on when you're doing the PA? Do you have to kind of watch yourself?
Not really, because I've kind of learned from Jeffrey, who does the PA announcing over at Jeffrey Griffin, who does the PA announcing at Wake Forest. He really puts emphasis into, like, basketball and football. If we score, if Wake scores, or if we have something good that happens, he'll announce 3-point basket, Cody Miller McIntyre or somebody like that. And we really put emphasis behind it. But I don't know if you kind of heard, if the other team makes a basket or, whatever, the 3-point basket by such and such.
So are you enjoying your life as a PA announcer?
Oh, it's great.
You remember the days when you used to be on TriadSportsCoverage.com?
Who?
I knew you were going to be that way.
No, you gave me my start. You gave me my start with, actually gave me my first interview. So.
And the more you say that, the older I feel because you no longer play high school baseball.
I know.
But what are you going to be doing here? What are you doing now?
I'm in school at GTCC right now after leaving Winston-Salem State. I'm working part-time, going to school, and trying to, I guess, have some financial stability.
That's always that's part of what they call growing up.
We're trying to have some financial stability.
I highly recommend that, too.
Well, when you get to that point, let me know how you did it because I've been trying that for a long time.
I'm slowly trying to dig out of this hole that I've kind of dug myself into.
Well, it just takes hard work and determination, and I know you're a hard worker because when you did shows for us and games, I mean, I was impressed. But plus, you have that great voice, and that's kind of that kind of opens the door for you.
It opened the door at the Winston-Salem Dash when I was at Winston-Salem State. Ended up landing the PA announcing job, splitting time with Jeffrey Griffin, the PA announcer at Wake Forest, and it's opened up more opportunities like here and learning stuff at the Dash. It opened up a couple doors at Wake Forest, so it's something fun.
Well, that sounds great, but just don't ever forget where you started. So when you get that first $8 million contract, somebody said you may be replacing Brian Williams on the news.
I wouldn't be surprised because that whole controversy of what's going on. So if you see me on NBC or whatever, I'll remember you.
I bet you will. Well, we're going to go take a short break, and we're going to come back and go over some stats. You're welcome to stay as long as you want to, but I know you have a gig on the other side of the court you have to attend
Let's
to.
see. Yeah, we got 8 minutes, so yeah, if we hurry up.
We're going to take a couple commercials. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Is your business going to die alone? Never meet the customers of its dreams? Just sit on the couch crying into a carton of ice cream while other businesses are out there thriving? New Expression can help. Without the right marketing, you're a wallflower. Without a great website, you're not going to turn heads. And without social media, you don't even have a friend to tell people what a great personality you have. New Expression can give your business a total brand makeover and get you out there, attracting customers. It used to be about who had the biggest ad in the phone book. Today, customers hit the web to locate and research before they call. If Google isn't steering customers to your site or they're not impressed by what they see, you're missing out. New Expression does web design and can provide a free analysis to see how your site stacks up against the competition. Don't have time to constantly update social media? Want cool custom apps and graphics? New Expression can help there too. From print design to mobile marketing to online presence to brand identity, New Expression can help you express yourself. Find out more at nuexpression.com.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
We are coming to you live from Winston-Salem - Anchorage, Alaska, in North Carolina, with the temperature is probably in the 20s, but I think by now.
Probably slowly decreasing.
And the snowstorm on the way, and the softball scheduled to start tomorrow here at Salem College outdoors, which I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll have to see. We almost had a volleyball in the face here with the...
it's currently 27 degrees.
27 degrees.
Balmy. It's a balmy 27.
We just had the stat sheet brought over from the Salem College statistician, and guess who the leading scorer is for Washington Adventist?
It's got to be Natalie Harrison.
She has 11 points.
11. It seems like she's got about 20.
She's 3 for 4 from three-point range. So she, she gets hot. It could be. And she played 19 minutes, so she took that short break.
Right.
But on the Salem College Spirit side, and we've already named her player of the game, I guess, she had 12 points. The leading rebounder in the ball game was 6.
Wow.
It's got to be
Crystal Lawless.
Crystal Lawless.
She has 3 steals. So she is definitely, she's played all 20 minutes. She has definitely made her mark in this game. Q has 10 points, but only 1 rebound. Turnovers, Salem has had 10 turnovers, while the Washington Adventist has 13 turnovers.
A lot of those were early in the game.
Points off turnovers, 14 points for Salem off turnovers.
It's been the key.
And that will definitely spell trouble if you're giving the ball up and then they're getting points off of it. It could be a long afternoon.
Sometimes, like you said, in the game I was here before in December, it was a very slow start for Salem in that they never really could get back into the groove. Today, they got off to a really quick start, and that's kind of built with this 9-point lead at halftime now, and their defense has just been really, really good today. Very scrappy, they got a lot of pressure where they need to get the pressure on the ball and in the passing lanes, which led to a lot of the points that you just mentioned. So.
Being up by 9 points, which is not insurmountable by the other team, maybe they won't get overconfident and they'll come out and just start all over again with that aggressive defense and looking for the open player, not taking a quick shot, wasting these long three-pointers and not taking any time off the clock. So we'll see how the team responds with a second half still yet to go, but right now, everything looks great for Salem because, like you said, it's been a complete ball game. They've done everything well. And if they can continue that attitude on the floor, then it's going to be very, very likely going to be a W for them. But as you know, Mr. Hodges is going to have to go back over and do
do the announcing.
So
my other job.
Good luck to you, Alec, and thanks for stopping by, man. We'll talk to you later.
The ratings just went up, by the way.
I know they did.
See ya.
That was Alec Hodges, but we were talking about the game here with Coach Money having to get her kids geared up for another half of basketball like they did in the first half. And you know that the other team they haven't given up. And we see where Natalie Harrison has hit 3 of 4 from three-point land. And we've seen many a ball game where double-digit leads can get eaten away real quickly.
Real quickly.
You hit a couple of threes, you force a turnover, and all of a sudden you're on a 9-0 run, and the game is right back in your hands.
3 possessions is how you look at it.
Yeah. So we'll see how the Spirits react when they come out.
They get the ball to open the half.
And they'll be shooting in front of us on this end of the floor. So if we see a bad shot, we're able to tell them it's a bad shot, and they will.
And they can hear us.
They will hear you, and I'm sure once we tell them that you were actually a coach, they might listen.
Doubtful.
We'll take just a short break here. Let's go to one more quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
We are back here at Salem College with Mark Pruitt. I'm Mike Pettaway inside a warm gymnasium here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Mark, what's the coldest? You're a media. You've covered a lot of ball games, and you've covered outdoor. What's the coldest you've ever been at a sporting event, and what was it?
Wow, okay. I know one that comes to mind. It was funny because my editor at the Journal and I were discussing this. I was assigned to a Mount Airy football game. It was the Friday after Thanksgiving in November in Mount Airy. There's no, the press box is open air. So it was quite chilly that night. I had to take my toboggan with me, and I was trying to write notes in gloves, and it was just, I want to say it was in the teens but it felt a lot colder than that. And my boss and I were exchanging messages before I went up there that said about 25 years ago he had gone up in a similar circumstance to Mount Airy when he was on the prep beat for the Journal, and snowstorm was coming in and the snow was blowing straight into the press box. So I said, "You win. I can't top that." But that was definitely the coldest I've been at an event that I have covered before.
Yeah, you're right. During those football playoff season, when it's in latter November, you can have some really unbearable weather to sit in, and you wonder how these fans can sit in those stands. They don't get to move around, and I'm sure they consume a lot of hot chocolate and coffee.
Oh yes. Well, it was last year, I think, too. You and I were at the Glen Northwest Guilford football game when the cold front. It was in the 20s, I think, but it was early November, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember.
But Glenn pulled off the upset, and it was really cold that night.
It was
I
really
remember.
cold. And then you go to the other extreme. You can do some games in the spring or early fall where it's unbearably hot out and humid.
Or you could be in the press box at the softball field at Glen when a major storm comes through that spawned several tornadoes in the area, and you're sitting there going, okay, is this a safe place to be?
I believe that was a game that I was in the visitor dugout
Against
taking
North Davidson.
pictures.
It was against North Davidson in the
Game
state
was
playoffs.
extended. It was suspended, and they played the following Monday.
Yep.
And to this day,
I think Glenn had the lead when the game got called too, right?
Coach Lambros from North Davidson says if that game had gone its normal completion, he thinks they would have lost.
And that was the year they won, right? They won the title. I think it's his first time they won.
33. They were national champions
national
too.
Champs, yep.
Well,
Glenn gave him a run.
Yep, sure did. We are back here with action underway in the second half. Again, the Salem Spirits 34-25 lead over Washington Adventist Lady Shock. Henderson drives, kicks it back out to Hannah McBride. That was an ill-advised pass, but it was knocked back into the hands of a Salem Spirit player. McBride around the perimeter into Q Lewis, and she did a little traveling music, I believe. She turned when she should have maybe stayed where she was.
We were reverse pivot there. She probably has a jump shot without uncontested, but it was good defense off the jump there from Washington Adventist with the 1-2-2 zone. They're really trying to limit that entry into the high post.
Harrison dribbles all the way down and goes right around the defense.
That's who they need to key on. This might be the situation where coach says, okay, just face guard her and don't let her touch the ball. Go with her wherever she goes. She's the only one that's been hurt.
They're going to call a travel on Michelle Morgan. That was another unforced error, which, as we said here during halftime, this game is far from over. Now it's down to a 7-point ball game, and 2 turnovers in the first 2 possessions for the Spirits.
2 turnovers, no shots. Not what you like to see.
Harrison with the ball for Washington over to Sierra Sims. Into Sims with a leaning jump shot. She's going to be fouled on the baseline. This will be a 2-shot foul. So that's Zy Henderson, her 3rd personal foul. Free throw is no good. Zy is walking down here with her hands on her hips. I bet you if you ask her, she'll say that she didn't foul him.
I've never met a player that has fouled somebody.
Rebound goes to Crystal Lola. McBride into Q Lewis. Skip and a hop, no travel. Short jumper.
I think she got away with that one.
By Henderson is off the rim, no good. The Lady Shock back down the floor with the ball. Out front for Harrison to set up the offense. She's looking down low, over to her left. Kicks it out to Sims.
Crystal Lawless guarding Harrison this go-around in a man-to-man for Salem.
Down low, kind of a wild shot that was no good, and Crystal Lolis pulls down a rebound for the Salem Spirits.
That's 2 already this half, right? And she had 6 at halftime that lead everybody.
Yep. So now we got Harrison guarding Henderson out on top. Henderson over to Q Lewis way out front.
Great entry pass.
And Michelle Morgan, no good. McBride, no good. Rebound, Morgan, no good. Three short, easy shots. None of them fell for the Spears. They still have not scored in this half. 17:40 to go. There's a drive by, I think that was number 0, I believe it was. That would have been Jaria McDaniel. We have a contact, maybe, issue with number 55, Michelle Morgan. She's going to take a seat on the bench. And Sabrina Shepard. That very first possession this half, you mentioned how critical it is to get the ball to Q, and they did that. Got it to her, and she traveled. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the
so
second.
far.
Long shot by Lewis from the corner, which is not
good offensive rebound.
That was Hannah McBride. So Hannah puts it back for first 2 points of the second half for Salem, 36-29. Cross-court pass to DeLisi Martin over to Courtney Jenkins, and the ball is knocked away. Henderson, she walked and got away with it and throws up a little.
She tried it. She didn't have numbers. It was a 2-on-2 break, and it looked like she was going to kind of back it out, but then put a little move on it.
She decided to walk to the basket, literally.
Got away with that one.
So a 2-pointer for Zy Henderson. There's a steal by Q Lewis. And off the glass for 2.
It was a lazy pass there by Washington Adventist, and Q just saw that one coming.
And that's
seen a lot of that tonight with Salem, anticipating that pass coming and just stepping into the passing lane.
And Coach Lyons calls a quick timeout for Washington Adventist Lady Shock. He saw his team starting to get a little momentum and starting to cut into the lead, but again, it's amazing how many times defense turns ball games around. Those steals, and that, all of a sudden they thought they were going to be set up to make a shot, and the ball is errant pass, and right away we have a layup on this end. So he's probably, I would say the coach is probably telling them that you have to have sharper passes.
Meet the pass.
Meet the ball. You have to be active, move without the ball, give them a target to throw to. And I think they're realizing, too, that there's some quickness on this Salem team. They're really going after things.
It's a 16th point off turnover for Salem tonight. When you look at that stat in the stat line, Salem 16, Washington Adventist 5. That's an 11-point margin, and look at the score. It's an 11-point difference. So that's the difference.
That's it. Only a coach would sit here and analyze that. But it's exactly right, and I'm sure the coach for Washington probably told them the same thing at halftime, that we got to quit doing having these turnovers and giving up these easy
never
points.
Look to see that stat to your disadvantage. Coaches preach that all the time with turnovers. Turnovers just kill you in every game.
Like a pitcher walking the bases loaded.
Yeah.
So the Lady Shock bring the ball up the floor, and it's Harrison over to McDaniel. McDaniel dribbling down to the left corner with Lola's guarding her, backs her up, and fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound to Q Lewis, down the floor, and Hannah McBride.
Out of control there.
It's going to be Salem possession in the ball game for Zy Henderson is number 1, Michaela Severs.
It surprised me there, Mike, that Washington Adventist, coming out of a timeout with the ball, they wouldn't look to get Natalie Harrison the ball to kind of get them going a little bit. She didn't even touch it there.
Quick shot by Sabrina Shepard off the right side, no good. Rebound was for Q, and she gave it to Lolis, who went back up, and Harrison stuffed her putback attempt. Lolis taking the ball out under the Spirit. There's a shot down low, or a pass into a breaking Sabrina Shepard.
It's just a job there. Washington Adventist did not see the ball coming out of that Adventist play, and Sabrina just snuck in there, made a little nice bank shot.
42-29 now with 15:40 to go in the ball game.
The largest lead of the game from Salem.
That was almost another turnover. Harrison collides with, looks like that was Hannah McBride down on the baseline, and they're going to call Hannah for a pushing foul. McBride picks up her second personal, and Q is going to take a rest for Alexiana Bush. So Q Lewis takes a seat on the bench for the Spirits. There's another
Now being aggressive there.
inadvertent foul by Hannah McBride. That was a great attempt for a steal on a pass.
Just about got there.
So
Just
within no ticks of the clock, she's picked up 2 personal fouls, and now she has 3 on the game.
Looks like she's going to stay in the game. She's pleading her case to the referee, but that probably won't do it.
And I'm sure they're going to call timeout and reverse that call, right? But now you got
never really works in your favor when you do that.
We have Zy Henderson has 3, and Hannah McBride has 3 fouls, and that's with 15 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game.
Oh, way to go. Q coming back in.
Q's going to come in for, looks like, going to take McBride out, so we have a bigger lineup on the floor now. So Michaela Sievers brings it up with Lolis over to Sabrina Shepard. Look in pass for Q Lewis is batted away, but it is recovered by.
Oh,
that has to be a foul, but Q got blindsided, and she was a sandwich between 2 aggressive defenders. There's a foul away from the basket by Michaela Sievers on a. It's going to be an inbounds with the Shock bringing it in. Number 1 from downtown. That was almost back up in Maryland. Michaela.
That's a walk.
Sievers with a 360, but it wasn't NBA, so it was a travel.
Down 13 points. Washington Adventists in 3 possessions in a row have not gotten Natalie Harrison any kind of touch on the ball or look offensively.
McDaniel looking for someone over to Courtney Jenkins. Jenkins is going to drive to the basket, and it goes off her foot, I believe. I think that's happened a couple times for Jenkins, where she looks up and her footwork is not coordinated with her dribble, and it goes off her foot.
Sometimes the ball is faster than the foot.
And Salem has it in the corner with Alexiana Bush with a 3-pointer from right in front of her vantage point here deep in the corner.
Pulling away now, Salem leads for 45-29 with 14:15 left.
Harrison guarded by Sievers. Double team now. Sievers almost with his
Almost got
interception.
that one.
A little fancy footwork. I think she
looked like she walked, but I believe they got basket good, and they're calling the foul.
They're going to give her the basket and not call the shuffle of the feet, but that's going to send Delana Williams to the free throw line. 14:06 to go in the game. Line drive off the iron, no good. Q Lewis pulls down the rebound over to Lolis, to Sievers, and they're in a hurry, but that Sabrina Shepard could have turned around and fired a 3. She was open. Over to Shepard.
She will this time.
She does, and she buries it from deep three-quarter lane.
Back-to-back 3-pointers for Salem there in opposite corners. Leads to the biggest lead of the game.
So all of a sudden, the 17-point lead for the Spirits. And Sierra Sims tried to drive the lane, and she was fouled by number 32, Sabrina Shepard.
Still, it's not like they're face guarding Natalie Harrison down there, and she can't get the ball. And she hasn't touched it down there.
So Delisi Martin comes in for Delana Williams.
Now that was
turnover.
Just careless inbounds play, and Harrison got the ball right back after she inbounded and dribbled it right off her foot. Frustrated, I think.
Yeah, I think the Salem defense has really created some havoc for Washington Adventists. Sievers is bringing the ball down the floor and looking for the offense to get in motion. Lola's from downtown, and that was an air ball.
Ill-advised.
I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look at the shot clock, but it couldn't have been down.
It wasn't. It was about 20.
So Washington bringing the ball up, rolling up the half court before Harrison picks it up to get the clock started. She's driving in, kicking it out. There's a drive, by DeLisi Martin. That was rolled in and almost rolled out, but it was good for 2-point basket for the Adventists. And Alexiana or Sabrina misses.
Offensive rebound from Q there.
Q got the rebound. Probably could have been called for 3 seconds, but
I think a couple of the Salem players could have been called.
kicked it back out. And
we're going one-on-one now, Washington Adventists. They're not really getting into their offense.
Lola's down to Shaniqua Collins, who's in the ball game. Pass that.
Passing to space there, I think.
A bad pass that Severs tried to haul in, but was unsuccessful. It's a turnover. Going to be called a foul on number 5, I believe. Shaniqua Collins with a.
Foul is on number 5, Shaniqua Collins. That's her first, 7.
It's a shooting foul, so
At the line is Courtney Jenkins, shooting 2.
Courtney Jenkins will be at the line for 2 free throws. 12:19 to go in the ball game. 50-33. And you can hear the proverbial pin dropping here. That was a shooter's roll on that particular. She made that. So number 0 takes.
I've seen a lot
seat.
of that on that end of the floor tonight on that rim.
So Brown goes out for Delana Williams, is back on the floor with her orange Nike shoes. Second free throw again. She uses the back of the iron with the backspin to bounce it straight up and straight back down in the net. Spirits with the ball. Severs, lazy pass over to. It's actually kicked away, and Hollis does get the possession. She slows things down. Severs looking down for someone to break open. There's a cross-court pass to Hollis. She traveled, no call. And her shot was blocked, and her body was fouled, but no call. Harrison, who's been very non-factor in the second half, misses her long-range three-pointer off the back of the iron. Collins looking for something to happen. There's pass over to Sabrina Shepard. She's going to set up for a 3. Collins for a 3 off the iron. No good. Rebound. Oh, my goodness. It's
Guess who?
Crystal Lawless.
And again, a good job of setting the offense back up at half court with that new shot clock, just kind of burning the clock now.
There's a short jumper, rolls in and out, no good. A lot of contact on that rebound with Collins and Williams, no call, but the ball does go over to the Lady Shock and Natalie Harrison.
Harrison, seems like she's taking it upon herself now to kind of have the offense run through her, bringing the ball up the floor. And
Harrison's backing in, kicks it out to Sierra Sims. No good on that. And there's a putback. Finally got the rebound off to, I think Lewis might have got that rebound. Pass it over to Severs, brings it up floor. Lola's calling the offensive play. Lewis here in the corner in front of us. Passes it to Lola. She drives toward the free throw line. Jumper, no good. Rebound to Sierra Sims. A long pass is going to be intercepted by Michaela Severs in backcourt. Bringing it back up to Salem's end of the floor. 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Washington Adventists looks really like they're stuck in some mud out there.
Yeah, I think they're kind of maybe tired.
Not a lot of depth out there.
No, and they've all put in a lot of minutes here in this first half. There's a long shot by Collins. There's going to be a jump ball called with Sabrina Shepard keeping her hands on that ball. And
it's good hustle play, good awareness by Sabrina there. Just stick her hand down there. A lot of times the referee will call that as a foul, but she did a good job.
Even though Salem has extended the lead, they've not had a lot of quality possessions this half. They've been doing a lot of, some of their passes aren't as sharp.
They benefited from a lot of the turnovers, I think.
Yeah.
The fatigue, it looks like, has set in for Washington Adventists.
Sometimes I think you may play down to the level of competition instead of trying to bring them up. Not that that Washington Adventist is a lower level competition, but today they're having a bad game. Wow, that was some contact by McDaniel. She drove the baseline, went up, missed the shot, or
It's the first one that got the rebound. Got fouled by Q.
and Q came down, knocked her to the floor. So McDaniel will have a chance to cut into the 15-point lead. First free throw is good.
Still not over, though. I mean, it's a 14-point lead. It's 9.5 minutes to go. It's a lot of basketball left to be played.
Second one is good.
See if Salem can find another little spark here, get a little more distance.
Yeah, I think the Lady Shock need to get Harrison really involved in offense if they're going to cut into this lead. Severs over to Lolis, back to Severs. Entry pass into Sabrina Shepard. A shot no good by Q Lewis. Rebound is taken by Harrison. She goes back up the floor into the corner to McDaniel. McDaniel is almost forced out of bounds, very frustrated, throws it over to Harrison. Harrison dribbles down the right side, one-handed pass underneath. Kick out pass to number 10, Sierra Sims, and his jump shot falls short. Severs brings it up the floor. Over to Sabrina Shepard. No good.
Too quick.
No one to get the rebound, and it's pulled down by McDaniel.
Too quick to take that shot. 13-point lead. And that's just a careless pass.
That was a pass to a player who was not looking in that direction. Goes over the bench, out of bounds, and Coach Money calls a timeout for the Salem Spirits. 13-point lead, 8:25 to go in the ball game. And as we said, even though they've been able to maintain that double-digit lead, they're just not playing the same way they played the first half. It's just not the same.
Well, the spark's not there, and I think Zakia and Hannah McBride have been on the bench for several minutes now, and they kind of got them going defensively at the start of the second half here when they got their lead up. And Zakia has been a spark plug all day, so.
Yeah, I think having Zakia Henderson and Hannah McBride on the floor, they made a big difference in the first half, and with their foul issues, I would imagine maybe another couple minutes and they'll be back in the ball game. I think Henderson is, she has 3, and of course McBride, and I would say that probably if the lead happens to get below double digits, I would think that Coach Money would go back to those 2 guards and have them put that defensive pressure that they applied first half and create some confusion.
The defensive pressure and settle them down offensively. Actually run some sets and not like that last possession. I think for Salem, you have one pass and a 3-point attempt. That's not what you're looking for when you're trying to milk the clock here and get the best shot you can get in a 30-second shot clock.
So the ball being inbounded by Crystal Lolis over to Severs, who's running the point. Looks over to her right to. Ooh, nice play. That was a pass from Severs to Sabrina Shepard. And she hit a cutting Alexiana Bush with an underhanded lay-in. It was nice move.
Good high-low post action.
Great open shot. There's a long three-pointer by McDaniel. It goes out of bounds. It will be Salem ball, 52-37, 7:59 to go.
Washington Adventist coach Jared Lyons did not look pleased with that shot, with that selection. Kind of put his hands in his pockets and just sat down on the bench.
Severs over it. Now it's Sabrina Shepard in the lane. She sees Alexiana Bush open in the corner.
Oh,
she telegraphed that pass, and Harrison steps into the passing lane.
Oh.
Actually stole it and got down the floor and was taken away by Severs. And then a very...
good hustle play by Miss Severs there.
Yeah, it was. And the foul on McDaniel. Probably that was really an unnecessary foul. But it is a turnover. And Salem with the ball again with kicking around the perimeter. Severs looks in, kicks it over to Lolis. to Sabrina Shepard. Don't leave her open. Although she has been cold in the second half, but if she starts draining threes again, this lead could really get out of hand for the visiting team from Tacoma, Maryland.
Tacoma with a K.
You ever been to Tacoma, Maryland?
No, can't say that I have.
Severs is going to be hacked. She was going to go up for a layup after a pass from Lolis, but she is fouled before the shot. Foul call on the floor. Crystal Lolis inbounds quickly for a shot.
The same play we had on the last inbound.
Sabrina didn't drain that short jumper, but it was a very alert play by Lolis to see her open there. And
so still a 15-point lead for Salem. 6:37 left to go.
Harrison trying to get the offense set up. Another kind of slow motion offense for, I think they're probably tired. McDaniel with a pull-up jumper, and it's good. Lolis looks down the corner to Sabrina Shepard. She fires it up, no good. Alexiana Bush fighting for the rebound, no good.
Once again, I don't know that that's the shot you want to take. Nursing that 13-point lead. One pass and a three-pointer.
Lacey Martin drives a lane, one-hander, floating banker. It's good off the backboard.
Lead down to 11, 5:49 left. Salem needs to kind of right the ship here. See if they can get something. Look for Q. They need to look for Q, I think, on this possession.
Again, that was a lazy pass that was kicked out by Harrison, but there's not much energy on either side of the ball right now. Shaniqua Collins comes in for Severs. And Hannah McBride is coming in so it's Hannah McBride running the point with Collins over to McBride. McBride looking for pass to Q Lewis, no good. Rebound goes to McBride. Lolis now running it from top of the key, looking for the offensive setup. Calls the play. They're going to try to get it into Lewis, and they do, and turnaround jumper, no good. She had Shaniqua Collins wide open on the back door that she didn't see. There's a drive all the way down the court.
Three-pointer, Harrison.
Daniel kicked it out to Harrison, and
7-0 run by Washington Adventists and cut the lead to 8 points.
So Coach Money has seen about enough, I think, on this, say a 7-0 run by the Lady Shock.
Surprised Zakiya Henderson's still sitting over there on the bench, Mike. She's been out for a long time.
They did bring Hannah McBride back in, but they have left Cy Henderson on the bench.
Makes you wonder if there's something else going on.
Unless she's, it's 4:52 to go. Maybe 3 minutes is a magical time to put her back in. But with 3 fouls, you think she could? I know she'll bring a lot to the floor if she comes back out there.
And it's crunch time now. You got them, let them right back in the game. Your 8-point lead isn't really safe with 4:52 left to go. So.
And somebody needs to stay on Harrison, because Harrison is
been quiet until that three-pointer.
She hit a 3, and if they're not gonna put a man on her and keep her occupied and give her some open space, then it could be. That lead could start to dwindle. So on the floor for Salem, we have Crystal Lolis, Q Lewis, Sabrina Shepard, Hannah McBride, and Shaniqua Collins. With 4:52 to go, Salem brings the ball inbounds at midcourt. Crystal Lolis dribbles into the lane, kicks it out to McBride. Back out to a little traveling music. McBride in the corner, Lolis in the corner, no good. Did not follow her shot. Watched it bounce into the hands of someone in front of her.
Probably could have gotten that one had she done that.
I think she'd had a good shot at it. Oh, got away with another travel on number.
Stepped into that
10. Literally, she stepped about 3 steps into it. It's almost like maybe the referees have lost energy too, and it's like let's let the clock keep moving.
Yeah.
So it is only an 8-point ball game here with 4:20 to go. Hannah McBride looking for someone open in the corner. She gets it over to Collins, back to Lolis in the corner, into Sabrina Shepard from the foul line. Short jumper is good.
Good bucket there. To stop the bleeding a little bit.
10-point lead now. McDaniel's driving all the way uncontested right through the lane through two defenders and makes an easy layup. I think everybody's dragging their feet on the floor, Mark. It's just not a lot of spark on anybody's
Definitely, it just seems that Salem's kind of playing not to lose right now.
McBride drives the baseline, tried to feed a cutting Q Lewis. It's knocked away by Washington. There's a 2-on-1. Nice lead pass up and in.
6-point lead. 15 down to 6 in a little under 2.5 minutes.
Sierra Sims with a great
timeout.
Great play on that rebound, or actually a steal down on the center of the floor. It's really the game's kind of obviously the momentum has swung the other way, and you get a team that's been behind the whole game, and all of a sudden they find out that they're in the ball game and they're actually going to make a game of it.
Builds confidence.
It's going to give them confidence. Does it take the win out of the Salem sale, because they kind of coasted along and kind of had their way, but now all of a sudden they've gotten into a kind of a dead spell here where their defense is not as aggressive, the rebounding is not as good as it was first half. They're taking quick three-point shots, and the problem with that is if they make them, everybody's happy.
If they don't,
but when you don't make them and you lose the rebound, it could be a 5-point swing or a 6-point swing, which we have seen here in the last few minutes. So 3:15 to go. Lolis with a shot just inside the arc. Rebound. Q Lewis. Turnaround back up and in. No good. Shaniqua Collins got the rebound. And she had a little bit of pump fake in the.
So it's still not in the 1-1.
Jaria. Well, that's going to be called on Sims. I thought it was going to be called on number 0, but Sierra Sims is going to be called for that. That's actually Sims' 4th foul, and that'll bring Delana Williams back on the floor. There's another shot by, ill-advised shot by Collins. They did get the rebound. Sabrina Shepard with the rebound, kicks it back out. McBride kicked it into Q Lewis. Now they're going to slow it down and set up the offense with Lewis up on the foul line, waiting for the. There's a pass into her, kick back out to.
Nice. It's a good drive.
That was a kick out to
Shaniqua
Collins, and she drove the lane and put it up off the board. There's a
travel.
Very wide backcourt, and she threw the ball hopefully to a teammate in the front court, but it made it past the half-court line. And
Salem did a good job on that last possession. Q got the ball to high post, turned and saw Shaniqua there cutting from the wing. And
like you say, when she touches the ball, good things happen.
Good things happen.
There's another pass into Shepard to McBride to Lola's back into Shepard. Kick back out to McBride. That was a ill-advised. That was a cross-court pass that was just not going to make it. There's a long three-pointer by Harrison, no good. And the rebound goes to Delisi Martin. We're going to call a foul on number.
I think we got a timeout.
Or is it a timeout?
Timeout.
30-second timeout called by Coach Lyons. It is an 8-point ball game with 2:05 to go, and looks like Zy Henderson is
coming back,
putting her headband back on and her working shoes on. She's going to come back out and hopefully get some defensive pressure on Harrison and keep this game out of reach for Coach Lyons' bunch. He's over. He knows he has a chance to win this ball game. I mean, they've come out with great effort in the second half, and with foul trouble on the part of the Salem Spirits, you got 4 fouls on. Was it 3? Is it 3 or 4 fouls?
I think it's 3 on Zakiah and on Hannah.
So he got our two best defensive players. 3 fouls and 2 minutes to go in the ball game.
And that's when the run has been, with those two off the floor. Oh, and Hannah.
And there's Hannah McBride taking that ball away from Harrison. McBride's going to should have backed it out, but it was knocked away, and Henderson did regain possession. Now Lola's setting it up with McBride into Q Lewis. They're going to call a foul out front on the floor with Lewis. She put the ball on the floor, getting ready to go through the lane, and called with the foul. That's Harrison's.
Right on cue, Hannah McBride with a nice stroke there, Natalie Harrison. Got Salem going back in the right direction.
Looked to me like, too, that Harrison's leading with that free arm and doing a little separation. They're going to call travel, so that three-pointer is wiped off the board. But you notice when Harrison does try to drive, as a lot of people do, that arm gets a little extended more and more. And
very common occurrence.
Of course, what that does is that opens up some room for Hannah to dive under and knock the ball away, which she did on the previous possession. Oh, that was travel.
You got a little too quick there, Washington Adventists. You got a little ahead of themselves.
So we're down to a minute 35, 56-48.
I can't believe they're not putting pressure up on the ball here. Trying to, not a way to win. Can't sit back in his zone in this situation.
Salem trying to get set up for another. Looks like there's going to be was it a timeout called? Or?
Yeah, it looks like she got a trap in the corner.
Yeah,
got a timeout.
They had 30-second timeout, I think is what they're saying.
Yeah, it looks like you got trapped in the corner. They were there. Good court awareness to call the timeout before the 5-second call.
So Coach Borney is he's got a minute 19 to. She only got 14 on the shot clock, so they'll have to come out and get something set up here and hope to get a good shot.
Drop the play for Q right here.
Hopefully you want to give Q the ball and see what happens around her and just react off that.
Took a bucket here, they would all but put this one away.
Minute 19 to go, and Salem with the ball on their end of the floor with Crystal Lolas taking the ball out. Passes it over to Zy Henderson. Oh, in soccer, that would have been a high foot. Lewis over to Henderson. She throws it in the corner to Lolas. Rebound is Hannah McBride with that long-range rebound. Lolas again with the ball. She's going to slow it down. They got 22 on the shot clock now.
Under a minute left to play.
Putting a lot of pressure on them now, but it may be too little, too late on defense.
Yeah, this is when you got to start fouling now.
Henderson with the ball. Double team. Now she dribbles out of it over to Lolas. Top of the key down to McBride. That was knocked out by Harrison.
44 seconds left. 8 on the shot clock. Salem with an 8-point lead.
Henderson having a discussion with the referee. They're going to call a travel on Sabrina, and Coach Money is
letting her have it.
You got to be aware of what's going on and pay attention. So they are putting some full court pressure on the Lady Shock, but the ball is being brought up by DeLisi Martin. There's a pass almost stolen by Lolas. It's knocked out of bounds. Will remain in possession of Washington Adventists at their end of the floor. And looks like Michelle Morgan is going to come back in to the game for the final 33 and a half. I think that substitution was to get a message to Sabrina Shepard.
Well, I think too, being a senior, Michelle they might try to pull her out in a minute and give her a nice little standing ovation. Three-pointer
by Harrison. It's a 5-point ball game. 22 and counting. Almost a steal.
Lazy pass.
McBride is going to get fouled.
That's tricky. Maybe take care of the ball here.
So that should be the foul's going to be called on number 12, DeLisi Martin. It's only the fifth foul. When you had, before this foul, you had 2 fouls to give.
And they weren't coming out.
They
were
not
sitting in that zone. Not being aggressive there at the end of game situation. Trying to get the ball back. In a situation like that, you're down points. You want to be the aggressor. You want to be the one turning the ball over. You want to get as many possessions as you can.
And if you're going for a pass, you never know when you may not get the foul. You may get a breakaway layup, or at least get the ball to Harrison, because now she's hitting those threes. And
Or at least put them on the foul line, give them a chance to miss those. Pressure situation here. You get the ball back a little quicker that way.
Crystal Lolis steps to the free throw line, and she hits the first of a one-on-one situation. She has one more shot to go here with 15 seconds to go in the ball game. Lolis with the second shot, up and in.
That should probably do it, I think.
7-point lead.
Oh, and Crystal Lois. Confusion here.
I don't think neither of the referees know exactly.
He's trying to watch the evidence, trying to call
he was calling a timeout. But that was, again, a heads-up play by Lolis, who actually came close to intercepting the inbound play.
Just about did.
It's like you get nonchalant about things, and all of a sudden you turn the ball over, and the ball game's going to be over. 7-point lead right now for the Spirits, 58-51, with a grand total of 15. That 15 seconds almost matches the temperature here in Winston-Salem. But
at least we're inside.
That's what my wife said. You go into the ball game, she said, keep warm. I said, I'm going to be in a gym. She said, yeah, but some gyms are pretty chilly. But it's been a nice afternoon for an indoor event.
Yes.
Great basketball. I've been impressed with just the overall way the Spirits played, particularly the first half, the second half.
Had a little spell there from the second half. The second half of the second half has kind of been sloppy. Not a lot of energy, but they sort of righted the ship when they had to here, and it looks like they're on their way to their third conference win.
And I do think if Coach Lyons would have reacted a little bit sooner, maybe when you were talking 2 or 3 minutes ago, start forcing things.
Yeah,
he could have, because it's only a 7-point lead now. It could have been a 3-point lead if they'd have played a little bit more defense.
Put them on the foul line a lot earlier than now. You try to maximize your time and your possessions in the last 3 or 4 minutes when you're trailing, and they just weren't doing that by being aggressive defensively.
And you find out who can't make free throws, and that's who you foul. There's a jumper no good by Sierra Sims off the rim. There's a long three-pointer by Harrison, no good. Harrison will get the no good again. Number one with a long pass.
That'll do it.
That was Courtney Brown trying to make a long three-pointer at the buzzer.
Third straight win for the Spirits.
Third straight, getting ready for those 2 critical conference road games. But would you say that the Salem survived this game because they were trying to self-destruct there for a few minutes?
I think they were in control. Survive, maybe not use. I don't think that's as strong as word as survive. They did enough at the end to win the game. Was it pretty? No, but win's a win. Doesn't matter how they happen. You just get them and you go on.
And I think they did a lot of good things that the coach can take into these next 2 road games that,
Definitely, especially the start of the game today. There was definitely some energy, nice spark defensively. And everybody responded well to that. Really, again, the defense and the turnovers and the points off the turnovers really were a big difference tonight. And the play of Crystal Lawler. Real impressed with her overall performance, both ends of the floor. She just did a lot of great things tonight.
She's always moving. She's always active, and that's why she gets a lot of these rebounds that people are standing and waiting for. She goes after them, and just everything she did today was just top notch, and be able to have that game when it really needed it. But I was also impressed by Hannah McBride and Zy Henderson on their defense.
Definitely.
Particularly in that first half when they were smothering whoever had the ball for, and in particular Harrison in the first half. She never got unwound, and Henderson was all over her and kept everything within reach for the Spirits. And once they got their lead, they were able to maintain and did exactly what they had to do. We're going to have some few words from the coach. She'll be coming over in just a moment. and we'll get her comments. Then we'll come back and do the stats once we get the post-game comments by Coach Brittany Money. It's always fun to talk to a coach when they come off a win. And we're going to have a word now with the winning coach today. Coach Money, I always like to talk to you, but I always like to talk to you when you win a ball game. And Mark and I were talking about you came out really strong. I thought your defense, particularly on Harrison with Henderson in the first half, because that Harrison young lady she can kill you in three-pointers. And he really did well. But and tell me the difference that you saw in the first half and the second half, how your team, did they lose some of their spark, or what happened to kind of, they didn't look like the same team for a little bit, some of the things they were doing.
Right. I mean, today we're celebrating Senior Day, so I think the excitement got to us, and we came out the gate strong and ready to go because we knew we wanted to win the last time for the seniors on the court. When we came out at halftime, it was all of a sudden foul, we're getting fouls, and all of a sudden you look up and we have 8 fouls to 0. I think that's definitely a boost, kills you in your confidence. Makes you feel like you can't play as aggressive, and that's definitely what our defense is. We're up in your face. We're aggressive. We like to have more of a little contact, and it kind of hurt us in the second half.
Well, I was really impressed with how Zai Henderson, she was like glued to Harrison, and I think disrupted her game because I think Harrison likes to get open and fire up these three-pointers, and she made it close at the end when she made a couple of threes. And then, as far as I'm concerned, Crystal Lolis, she is quite a ball player. She is.
She is dedicated. She has heart and she has hustle, and she is definitely a coach's dream to have on a team.
She was leading rebounder. She's not 6'8", she's not 6'4", she's a guard. She shouldn't be under there.
Right.
But like Mark and I were talking, she's active, and when those shots come off the iron, she's right there to get them. And I think that's really a plus to have someone like that. She's not known to be a low post player, but she gets rebounds. Now you've got a challenge ahead of you now with 2 critical, crucial, important, whatever, road ball games to hopefully wrap up a conference title. Now you won 3 ball games in a row. And to me, going into something as critical as those road games, that's got to be a plus because your kids, they've got to come in with some confidence and with some know that we can play with anybody.
Yeah, we've had a tough season so far. We've had a tough schedule, and the beginning of the season, the kids always work hard, and we always keep saying keep the fight, and we're definitely keeping the fight, and we're finally getting the momentum swing that we need right at the correct time.
Well, I want to congratulate you on this win today. It was fun to watch, particularly Crystal Lolis. And Mark and I were really impressed with her and with Zai Anderson. Now, when you took, of course, I got in foul trouble. Zai had foul trouble, and so did McBride. What was your thought process before you put Henderson back in the ball game? Because at one time there was a timeout with 5 minutes ago. We thought maybe she's going to come back in. What were you going? What was your process doing all that time?
Well, what we had going on is we almost had it to a 20-point lead with the group that I had in, and I wanted to keep and see if we could get that momentum and bring us back out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on as we say, we always like to win. Can you do anything about the cold weather here in Winston-Salem? Because you come down from Pittsburgh area. You probably brought it with you.
I know. My family came down this weekend. You can blame them.
Well, good luck to you. You have any questions for the coach, Mark?
No, thanks.
See, he's a coach, too.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
But congratulations on this win, and good luck to you on your last 2 conference games. I'm sure you can pull these wins out and win a conference, and I think you've done a great job in your first year, and I think the kids have rallied around you. They finally, it's almost like now things are starting to sink in, and they come out ready to go, and we were impressed today by not having a slow start. A lot of times you guys come out, you don't score, you do this for 3-4 minutes, then we think, what is going on? But it was the defense tonight that turned the tide, I think.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, good luck, and we will be talking to you later. Coach Brittany Money. So, Mark, that's always good to have a coach come over after a win. They're always in a good mood.
Yes.
They're happy.
Yes.
And,
maybe. Sometimes they might look like they're happy, but on the inside, there's lots of stuff churning as to, okay, what do we need to do to get the next W? So.
But Coach Money's always been very cooperative, even when they suffer a loss. She'll come over and, coaches, you never know what's going through their minds, but she's done a remarkable job here in her first year with coming in, fresh start. not having any contacts or any connection to the college,
Right.
and trying to build a program.
It's tough.
And I think she's the kind of coach that, she stresses fundamentals, she stresses hard work, and you do that, and you recruit those kind of players that will react to your coaching. Then I think she's on the right path to establish a winning program here at Salem College.
Definitely, and you saw that today. I think, like she said, the defense certainly was the driving force today, particularly in that first half when they got up on the run. And Washington Avenue has really never recovered from that. I mean, they made a little late run there, but I think the margin was comfortable enough the whole way that Salem had just enough spunk left at the end there to keep it where they needed to keep it.
We do have our final stat sheet we'll go over before we go off the air, but Lolis ended up with only 14 points. I think she had 11 at halftime, but 9 rebounds, which actually led the game with nine boards, 3 on offense and 6 on defense. And, we can't say enough about what she plays, and she had 4 steals.
4 steals, 4 assists.
4 assists.
That's filling up the stat sheet.
I mean,
right
she
there.
played all 40 minutes of the ball game, and she did every phase of the game well. I mean, really impressive. Actually, the leading scorer for Salem was Sabrina Shepard. She came alive in the second half, and she ends up with 17 points. So Sabrina was a big part of this ball game. Q Lewis hit double figures, had 12, had 6 boards. So she had a regular productive ball game.
It was still effective, and it seemed like every time Salem was in a situation where they looked like they needed a bucket, something would happen when Q touched the ball, whether that she was scoring or passing off to someone else. She did a lot of good things tonight without having to score the basketball.
And the game's leading scorer was actually Natalie Harrison, which we kind of
shocking
predicted here at the 2 hours ago when we came on the air. She had 19 points and had 3 rebounds, but she committed 8 turnovers. And a lot of that was because of some great defense by Henderson and by Hannah McBride. But they had 24 total turnovers, and the Salem College converted that into 23 points. And second chance points, too, 12 points for Salem. So, and then on the bench, 24 of the 51 points came off the bench, and that speaks, volumes about how this Coach Money's got a lot of players involved.
A lot of interchangeable parts out
Right.
there, and it was key today. You saw that Hannah McBride especially gave him a spark off the bench today, I thought. So,
And Jaria Brown McDaniel had 15 for Washington Adventist, the only other player to hit double figures. All in all, it was a well played game by both teams. The Spirits had just a little bit more, which senior night probably a little bit more adrenaline flowing and want to go off on a good note. So it was a great ball game. Great to be indoors. We're going to watch the weather and see what we do about the softball this week during the week, because there's Monday,
good luck
Tuesday,
with that
and
tomorrow.
Thursday softball. I'm a little leery about what's going to happen with the weather, but we will be back on the air possibly by Thursday, if not tomorrow. And then for those that have listened to our sports talk show before, we're going to be back in Concord, North Carolina on Monday night, 23rd, a week from tomorrow, for a Buffalo Wild Wings for a benefit for Autism Society of North Carolina. And we're going to have 2 young men co-host the show, Ryan Repko and Jake Ruggles. They're both young race car drivers, very mature young men. And we're looking forward to going down to Buffalo Wild Wings and having a great time, raising money for a great cause. And we're going to be making some announcements during that show that will give the listeners an idea of what we're going to be up to over the next 3 to 6 months. We've got some changes coming up. We've got we think some great things that we're working on. Looking forward to a great summer of some coverages, and we're looking forward to it. And we will have Mr. Pruitt back on sometime throughout the next few months doing games or whatever.
Wonderful. I'd love to be back.
He's always very cooperative when I email him in the last minute. If he doesn't have plans with his wife, he says, yeah, I'll be there. And I fully understand that. A happy wife is a happy life, is what they say.
And you can't really mess up. Well, I think the last time we tried to do this was her birthday weekend, and we were already had planned for a little retreat up in Asheville without our kids. So, I try not to say no when you come calling. But sometimes things happen.
Well,
so.
And I appreciate you coming over. I appreciate Mr. Hodges, who came on at halftime, and our photographer, Mr. Charles Hilton. So for Mark Pruitt, this is Mike Pettaway saying thank you for joining us, and stay tuned to TriadSportsCoverage.com for further updates on broadcasting from Salem College. Again, the final score, Salem College Spirits 58, Washington Adventist Lady Shock 51. So until we find some warmer weather and get back on the air, thank you and have a great weekend.